Change the saw blade at least once a week. The frequency of blade changes depends on the amount of use and types of lumber being cut. Cut quality should be another sign of when to change the blade. Determine the amount of time with frequent inspections that look for cracks, warping, and missing or dull teeth. Observe any wobble or vibration while rotating. When preparing to replace the saw blade on the match point blade wood processing system, you should always observe all caution and warning messages. As a first step, note the saw blade rotates towards the operator, traveling downward when the blade is in the home position. Warning: check the torque on the saw blade screws daily and whenever there is a visible vibration of the saw blade. Keep saw blades sharp and in good condition. Have the saw blade re-tipped if the carbide tips become chipped or come off. Specifications for new and used saw blades can be found in the maintenance manual in the saw blade section. Dull blades cause high kickback force, which can cause injury. Use new screws matching the spec provided in the maintenance manual each time a blade is replaced. Discard the saw blade if its diameter becomes less than 16 5/8 inches. Caution: saw blades have many sharp edges. It is essential that gloves and eye protection be worn when handling the blade. Before beginning the blade replacement, you will need a new or sharpened saw blade, 6 proper mounting screws, and an appropriate torque wrench with a torque T30 driver. The torque T30 driver is also known as a star or a hex-lobular internal shape driver. To obtain a new saw blade, order the SB202 Kit-N from MiTek. Each new saw blade comes with a box of 50 screws which can be used to mount resharpened blades. Move the saw head to the maximum angle so the saw blade mounting screws are facing upward toward the top of the saw chamber. For safety and convenience, adjust the height of the saw blade so that it is approximately chest high. The photo of the saw chamber door being showed open is being used only to show the approximate height of chest high, because you cannot adjust the saw head to an approximate chest height with any e-stop pushed in or the saw chamber door open. Push in an e-stop and open the saw chamber door. Power to the saw should be disconnected at the red disconnect switch. A lock and tag should be placed on the disconnect switch as shown. After ensuring that the power to the saw is locked out, use a standard ratchet and T30 driver to loosen and remove the 6 screws that secure the saw blade to the hub and discard the screws. Now remove the blade and place it in a safe place for sharpening or re-tipping. Try to wiggle the hub on the shaft. If it is secure, do not adjust the screws holding the hub to the shaft. They were torqued at installation and should not be touched unless they are loose or damaged. If they do need to be retorqued, if you have 4 screws holding the hub to the shaft, refer to Service Bulletin 207. If you have 5 screws holding the hub to the shaft, refer to Service Bulletin 246. To prepare for the new saw blade, blow off dust from the hub and threaded holes, making sure there is no dust in the hub's threaded holes. If there is, it needs to be cleaned out. Use an emery cloth if necessary to remove any pitch. Wipe down a new saw blade mounting surface and the hub surface with a soft cloth. Make sure all parts are clean, dry, and free of lubricants. If using a used saw blade, make sure it is at least 16 5/8 inches in diameter from tip to tip of the teeth. To attach the new saw blade, position it so the 6 snoot holes in the blade line up with the holes in the hub, noting the proper tooth direction on the blade. Warning: always use new screws when replacing the saw blade, and never use thread adhesive, as this can cause the screws to shear off, possibly resulting in serious injury. Using the new screws obtained from MiTek with the saw blade purchase, secure the saw blade to the hub, making the screws finger tight. Then using the torque wrench with the T30 driver, tighten each screw 1/2 turn at a time, alternating between opposite screws in the manner shown. Torque each screw to 110 inch-pounds. The torque wrench should be sent out to be calibrated at least once a year to ensure its accuracy. Store the torque wrench in its proper housing. When the saw blade has been replaced, remove the lock and tag. Restore power and start the blade to ensure there is no wobble.